Hello and welcome to another edition of Inside Line. I'm Stephen Otley and I'm joined by fellow driver writer Andrew McLean. Now this week we've got not one but two motor shows to talk about and the end of an era in Formula One. But first it's time for our internet burnout. Now this week's video helps you understand why drivers in Eastern Europe have dash cams. Because Andrew, I'm not sure about you, but I guess this is... I don't know how you'd explain this to an insurance company.
Yeah, clearly this is why the dash cams are really important in countries like Belarus and Russia, where literally horses and carts share the road.
I mean, we've seen some bizarre ones. These, blokes having arguments and amazing car crashes, but I mean, this one takes the cake.
Yeah, this one's a cracker.
They're switching from horses and buggies to the future of motoring, and the Tokyo Motor Show gets underway on Wednesday, and it's famous for its futuristic concept cars, and this year has been no different. Now, what's grabbed your attention so far?
Well, we talked about a few last week, the Nissan Blade Glider, which is this weird-looking race car that they're trying to race at Le Mans. But there's more come out ahead of tomorrow's opening with Nismo doing the GDR, which is an even more powerful version of this supercar.
Yeah, because you can never have enough power.
Honda's going to have a few concept cars with its Civic Type R. One of our journalists, Tony Davis, has driven that already today, 206 kilowatts. It's aiming for the Nürburgring lap time for front-wheel drive cars. So even though it's far removed from the GDR, they're still looking for more horsepower and how to front-wheel drive small hatches.
Yeah, and of course, being Japan, famous for their hybrids, we've seen Mazda 3 is expected to unveil the hybrid version of the 3, and then we've also expecting a convertible version of the Prius C, which would be quite funky, a tiny little fuel-sipping convertible.
Absolutely. Well, Toyota's always promised that it would have hybrids, across all of its range, and that the Prius would become more than just the original hatchback that it was. And so they've got the Prius C and the Prius V now, and off the Prius C, the small car, they're going to do a convertible, a little four-seater convertible, and also a little four-wheel drive mini SUV lookalike version as well.
Tomorrow we're going to see even more, I guess we expect some wacky and wild things because Tokyo always delivers that sort of stuff, doesn't it?
Yeah, and particularly this sort of, inner urban Tokyo congested city sort of mobility future, lots of small scooters or electric sort of commuter bikes and things like that will get people around really tight congested areas.
Yeah. It's pretty cool stuff. Now, across the Pacific at the Los Angeles Motor Show, which is also getting underway this week, not to be outdone by Tokyo, there are some extremely important global debuts in the City of Angels, aren't there?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're both fighting for headlines across the other side of the Pacific, and there's some really important cars there. The new Porsche Macan, its baby SUV under the Cayenne. The new Mini will be there, which has been revealed this morning, and also the Jaguar F-Type Coupe. So some, really significant cars in LA. Yeah,
and then also some pretty cool concepts like this Mercedes Vision Gran Turismo, which is a bit of a tease for the upcoming AMG GT. Yeah,
this, like the last instalment of Gran Turismo, the Sony PlayStation game, they got Red Bull to design the fantasy sort of race car. They've asked Mercedes-Benz to do the same this year, and it's come out with this stunning-looking gull-wing coupe.
Probably not going to look exactly the same, though, is
it? I wouldn't think it's going to look that radical, but it does provide some clues in terms of the headlight design and the sort of overall shape of it, with a bit more of a hatchback style rear lid on it.
All very cool stuff. And finally this week, Sunday's Brazilian Grand Prix will bring down the curtain on Mark Webber's Formula One career. Now, you've recently had a catch-up with him. Has he made the right call?
I do. I think Mark's really confident in his own decisions and wanted to step out of Formula One on his own terms. We've seen some of the other drivers, they've been kicked out of big teams and they've gone to smaller teams and then they fade off into the distance. Mark is not the sort of person to do that. And we've seen the last couple of races, he's as close to Sebastian as he's ever been, even though, his teammates won the last 8 races in a row, but he's, been really close in qualifying. And he's ready to move on to another chapter and back into sports cars with Porsche next year.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty great, retirement, isn't it, to go off and spearhead Porsche's, long-awaited return to Le Mans. But like you say, he's been close to Sebastian Vettel all year, and I think Vettel has proven this year that he is one of the all-time greats of the sport, and so Mark can really hold his head up high that, Vettel's got the better of him, but he's got the better of everyone.
Absolutely. Mark's really quite modest in his own opinion of, where he stands in the sport as well. He's won, 9 Grand Prix, which is more than, a lot of other Australians have ever achieved. But Sebastian, he even admits he is in a league of his own, and he said that a few times even publicly over the radio the last couple of weeks. And he believes that probably he will go on to break Schumacher's record of 7 world championship titles.
Yeah.
And so to be able to match someone like that is an outstanding achievement for an Australian, and let alone of any driver's calibre.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you can get one over from Seb this weekend and go out with a win. Well, that's it for this week's edition. Now, we'll be live blogging all the action from the Tokyo Motor Show, so stay tuned to drive.com.au for all the latest news, reviews and videos. Thanks for watching.